Us older Gen X, we have been so grimy when it comes to how we have treated and talked to our younger sisters. The pick me that you're displaying right now with Chris Brown, he's never going to pick you. I'm holding myself accountable. That's what this video is. And that's not to say you can't support his music. Do what you want to do. It just seems wild to me that Jill keeps dying on this hill with Chris Brown and attitudes that are very much from the days of old and antiquated thinking that our great grandmas, big mamas, and them have set up for us. I don't think Chris Brown is out here promoting Jill Scott's efforts, her albums, her concerts, any of her projects, the way y'all trying to go up and big up this man. It is wild to me.
So we got to look at this tweet in some detail because while I'm not the pop culture person, I definitely know my way around these internet streets. And while the streets are abuzz on the good old Twitter, because ain't nobody really calling it X, let's just call a thing a thing. Jill Scott stuck her neck out, and I think it's going to hurt her in the end because some women are very much still not in the pocket of forgiving Chris Brown for his past transgressions. I think Jill Scott had a fear of missing out, and she had to put her opinion out there on a Twitter sphere around Chris Brown. So after that diss track came out with Chris Brown versus Quavo, she tweeted, "At Chris Brown is amazing. How does anybody sing like that? Dance, look, act, and rap like that? Beyond gifted. It appears exceptional people have to go through exceptional. There's nothing to debate." And then someone clapped back immediately and was like, "I think the women he's abused would disagree." And so then somebody else piped up on Twitter and said they could not look past Chris's history. And then Jill clapped back with, "Well, I'm not here to fight anyone else's battles. If women hear stories, they should just avoid that street. Running backwards and moving traffic makes zero sense." So basically just throwing women under the bus. But you're saying you're not here to fight his battles, but it sounds like you're here to be Chris's PR, his manager, and his spokesperson, and very much giving pick me energy. So we're going to get into this topic on this video. So
He's been problematic. His colorist views have been very much talked about, discussed. We have seen it in play in his dating history. He likes a certain complexion and hue, and that's all I'm saying. Yes, you can have a preference, that's fine. But leave Black women out of it. You got Lizzo saying she would work with him in a heartbeat. You now have Jill Scott, Team Chris Brown. I really want to see his Twitter feed when her next album drops. Is it going to be at the top of his pinned tweets? I just want to know. I want us to call in our Gen X sisterin. We are the issue. We don't get nowhere and holding up the flag of like, let men just be men, because that's all they're going to ever do is be men. Jill Scott, I love you, sister, and I love you down. They cannot make me not love you. Words and Sounds Volume 1 and 2, Light of the Sun, your live album, baby, heavy rotation forever and a day. It's always going to be a bop. It's always going to be a mood. The pick me that you're displaying right now with Chris Brown, he's never going to pick you. I really want to see where he has ever outwardly supported you. If y'all got the receipts, I'm happy to see them. Tag me in them online somewhere. IG Miss Latrice Kelly. On TikTok, Miss Latrice Kelly. I want to see. Always Jill having a bad take at least once every quarter or once a year or once a half a year. Remember when Niecy Nash was like, well, you need to just greet your man after a long day of work with your mouth and offer him, gobby gobby. And that's all you need to keep him. Who remembers? The North remembers. And now she's team women loving women, which is wonderful. I'm all for the LGBTQ plus. Get it where you live. But baby, you're part of the issue too. We have got to stop this regressive thinking. Gen X was supposed to be the one who led the charge to bust up the system, to get rid of patriarchy and smash it to a million bits, and we did not do it. Gen Z and millennials, some of y'all attitudes around working and capitalism have been some of my favorite things to incorporate into my own life. Your viewpoints, when they are viewpointing, baby, y'all be with it. Boomer mentality that our great grandmas, memas, big mamas and them passed down, and your auntie at the family reunion telling you,
"He's a good man, Savannah. A good man."
The fact that I have multiple siblings that show up in my Facebook inbox from my father being a Rolling Stone, wherever he laid his hat was his home. Gen X women, we continue to promote these things, these attitudes. is the reason why Jill can get on her platform and say support Chris Brown, because he's talented. He can sing, he can dance, and he can act. When they were trying to compare him to Michael Jackson, that's when I tuned out. Like, look at me now and run it. Okay.
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Long live the Queen of Soul and her eternal shade. But baby, we all know that she was the captain of the Pygmies. But that's a video for a different day. She definitely wasn't Gen X. But honey, she fits into this topic for real.
I'm not going to hold you. Great catalog. Those two that I can think of.
Honey, the music ain't that great. I listen to it on the iPod.
Kelly Rowland has worked with him. Jordan Sparks, was it Chloe or Haley? One of them have worked with him. He's never going to be canceled. He's fine. You don't have to die on a hill for Chris Brown. They don't even seem like they belong in the same generation or the same sentence. Jill Scott's music and Chris Brown's realm of reality to me exists in two different pockets.
Someone dropped this link in one of the online discussions about this Jill Scott moment, highlighting this article from Essence that you see here on your screen, and I'll link it in the description below. But essentially, our girl has been always in this pick-me pocket. She's been talking in this article at great length about how women make more than men, and because the system designed it that way, and it's a balance in that. And maybe your man can just iron clothes and make you a good plate and get the kids' homework together and make you a breakfast before work. And then when you get home, ladies, here's the rub. He's going to break you off properly. And now I'm paraphrasing. You can read the article for yourself. I'm sad because this is us talking Gen X girlies, that it's just enough the man does some bare minimum stuff around the house. He doesn't have to try to put forth effort and make sure he's pulling his weight financially. She really definitely was auditioning for Sheila in Why Did I Get Married? And side note, Tyler Perry, count your freaking days for putting Jill Scott's beautiful self in that fat suit for that movie.
It's been said that it is largely Black Gen X women that you will see excusing the behavior of actors for the sake of their talent, loving the artist and not the acts, and going so far as to saying they should be forgiven, it's been so long ago, X, Y, and Z. And yes, that's true. And I had tweeted about this, and one of the reasons why I think it's so true with Gen X, especially Gen X Black women, a few reasons why I think that. Number one, Gen X is very much the forgotten generation. We're left kind of to fend for our own. We moved through life on our own, which means that the thinking and the mindsets that we developed growing up are what we were left with because we weren't challenged to think of anything different. And so if you don't take that time to challenge your mindset off of what you thought when you were younger compared to what you think now, then yeah, those type of thoughts are going to keep coming up and coming out in the wrong way and the support of the wrong person. Another reason why I think that it happens is that a lot of us that are Gen X dealt with some sort of that people didn't believe us, that we just couldn't talk about, that we weren't able to share with anybody, or that we were told it was our fault. When there isn't healing work that's being done in regards to abuse, then it is far too easy to find yourself defending other. And if anything else, I would strongly invite and encourage people to do some healing work so you can recognize that you don't have to side with abusers for any reason whatsoever.
Our elders are the drama. They were the drama. They let us see it. We were supposed to be the silent generation who just says, just what goes on in this house stays in this house. You don't talk about it. Don't say anything. To our own harm. For Black women, the domestic violence rates are through the roof. Black femicide. Is it Intellectual Media? I love her YouTube. She has a fantastic video on this topic. I'll link it in the description box. Fab Socialism does a fantastic video about why Beyonce is a pick-me. And when you listen to Beyonce's music, her catalog, so much of it is pick me, but it makes sense. Beyonce is not Gen X, but she was raised by somebody who passed down that mindset. And Jill Scott is no different. Erykah Badu, our other neo soul sister who has bad takes every 6 months, telling girls to dress a certain way so they don't get assaulted. It makes sense then why she supported R. Kelly openly. That's her brother, she said. Baby, we got to have a reckoning. I feel like when we had Ike Turner and Tina Turner, who were both so pivotal for R&B in the 60s and soul music, and then when it came out that the way he was treating Tina and was hurting her, SAing her, all these awful things that were cataloged in not only her memoir, but in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It. But then people love to put this lyric in songs talking about eat the cake anime or talk about I'm gonna do this to you like Ike Turner. Were any of Ike Turner's contemporaries collaborating with him after he did all this? How many people were lining up to be a part of his legacy? But y'all continue to do this with Chris Brown, even though he has shown that he is not here for all Black women. He has a very specific type. He's been a known and outed colorist. Rihanna has went on the record as forgiving him. And again, similar to the Janet Jackson scenario and Justin Timberlake, everybody else was like, you can forgive him, but we don't have to. Because maybe if people had drawn a line in the sand at this that Rihanna suffered, that he wouldn't have went on to abuse and make other people suffer under his thumb. So as Black women, specific Gen X, our attitudes have to shift. We got to get educated. We got to learn and unlearn. And that's not to say you can't support his music. Do what you want to do. Everybody will at the end of the day. You will support whom you feel deserves it. But you're going to get dragged on Shea Butter Twitter for a while there, Jill. And I want to call you in. Crown Royal, A Long Walk, Living My Life Like It's Golden. These are bops that will go on and live in R&B and neo soul infamy. It's not the way. No pun intended. It is not the way. Remember when Monique was telling everybody not to wear their bonnets in public? Remember that? And now everybody's making videos in bonnets today. And I love that for us. Because honestly, who are you to tell me what to do with my hair? Especially when y'all don't even love natural hair the way y'all say y'all do. We are supposed to be the biggest supporters of other Black women, and we do ourselves a major disservice. And I bring up Monique because she's a perfect example of Gen X women. The way she sits on her platform and promotes that man who has dragged her career into the depths of hell, and she seems to be so fine with it. Archaic thinking that's been passed down through the generation. People talk about breaking generational curses. Jill Scott literally said her stepfather, it sounds like she's talking about her stepfather, was a bad man to her and her mom, but because he could pour asphalt, she could look past all that. They forgave him. And again, may have been knocking her mama's head between the washer and dryer nightly, but it's okay because he brought home a check. And before y'all jump in my comment section and say, Jill Scott has a right to her opinion, as she does. But the people who are very much responding to it, we have a right to be introspective. We have a right to speak on it as well. And Indy Ari, I'm gonna bring her up too. Not too long ago, she was dragging Meg Thee Stallion and Janelle Monáe and promoting their bodies and celebrating their bodies. Like body positivity is fine until somebody who has a different body shape than yours or their body's jiggle in a way yours doesn't, and then you're mad about it.
And saying this won't age well, and that's my issue. I love Janelle and Meg the way I love.
When Indy Ari says it's not gonna age well, where's this energy for Juvenile, who just did a tiny desk his catalog that includes plenty of booty shaking classics? Indy Ari been a pick me for a minute. She has a right to an opinion, but I would like to know, does the same thing go for the music Josephine Baker's Banana Dance? Maya Angelou used to shake it, not entirely clothed. You can look it up. Respectability BS. I think we need to learn to let it go. Let it go. Because I value Black women and our lived experience, even when we come from a place of we're promoting the trauma that we have been handed or behaviors that have been witnessed, and then we start parroting them. I know I've been an ashy pick me in the past, and it's not won me anything. I don't get a point. I don't get a t-shirt. I don't get to be platformed in a different way because I've gone up for men who have had dusty tendencies. I did not get a prize in the mail. I promise you I didn't. We were supposed to be the ones who led the charge and had more progressive thinking and ending some of the negativity that we were raised in. But we don't have to keep promoting it because it's not healthy. That's all I want to say. I'm Latrice Kelly, and I'll see y'all for something else. Like, comment, and subscribe, and keep the comments civil, please. I'm not trying to tussle with y'all. I'm holding myself accountable. That's what this video is. So bye, y'all. Bye.